Hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. This is season 12. This is Mutiny Motorsport, and this is the Formula Inter that we are racing. We know we're on race 3. We're already at Cordoba, number 2. That was the track pulled out this weekend for the drivers. If you haven't seen the sprint, it was hot. The racing was fierce. The racing was close. As we just about to take a look, there we go, at the track map that's on screen. There's 11 corners, about 2.5 kilometers, super squiggly. You've got some really tight, fiddly bits right in the middle, but the last corner and the first corner and corner 2, kind of fast, long right-handers, either descending or ascending in speed. And here we go into qualifying.
All right, we got Debug here with a blistering 1 flat. His first pole for the season, followed by Viltec, TTR, and then his teammate Nate Delta in 4th. Then at 5th, we've got John D, followed by Alex, Shattered Compass, NDF, Artie, Old Boy Bob, Garrett, Orange, Leclerc, Cloning, and Cracker Cold One.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the closeness of this right now. When you consider top 11, basically, maybe even top 12, within a second of each other. This is a tight field as the cam is going around and following them through. You can see the twisty section that we're talking about, this infield section of track. So difficult to judge in these cars. See the cars all lined up, and there we go. They're going into formation, coming around the final corner onto the main straight, getting themselves in position as there's a car way off the back. Cracker Cold One is 7 seconds off the leader, 4 seconds off the person who should be right next to. So maybe a little bit of a problem there as Debug in the Jordan goes down the start line. Where's the start finish? There it is. They are racing round the outside. There's already a bit of a battle. Would you be brave enough to hold on to it? As someone goes super wide, touches the grass. No, they're sideways. I think that's Orange in the orange car, is in the back again. Oh, that looked like
lots of hargy-bargy.
Yeah, there was some elbows out for sure there, and Debug has kept his cool. TTR and Viltec fighting it out for second place, and Debug has got away thinking, yeah, that worked out pretty well for me there.
Wow, that pack is tight.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the sprint, go back and watch it, because there is Old Boy. He's in 6th place, and he is looking to make a mark again in the Mutiny. As we get Garrett down the inside of RT, hops over the curb, brave stuff there, both drivers. Put your foot down, see if you can hold it all the way around this corner. How will it go for them? Yeah, Artie's still thinking about it. A Shattered Compass goes down the inside. And that was a beautiful overtake there.
Nice and clean.
Yeah, that was 101 overtake down the straight. Good exit as John thinks to himself, what happened there? I was mugged.
You know, T1's a very interesting corner for especially these first early laps, because there's a few different ways that you can kind of, not T1, sorry, T2, in terms of how you can approach it and your angle and braking, and especially defending people behind you, but trying to get a nice clean exit. It's an interesting corner to watch in these first 5 laps or so.
Yeah, it is. It's such an open corner. It's way more open than it looks like. There is so much room up on the inside, round the outside, down the middle, and these cars are so small. It doesn't take a lot to find
this gap.
And Viltec is trying to find it with Debug. Debug round the outside. This is going to be a sprint now. Down, start, finish straight. Who's got the line? Viltec looks like he's running a little less downforce as he's gotten through the corner a little bit better and down the straight. But Debug holds around the outside. What a move. Is he going to hold it all the way? There's plenty of space for them. Wow, and you can see how wide it is as Viltec chooses the inside line and Debug keeps the speed around the outside. Wow, that was a combo of corners from those guys.
Wow, such courage there from Debug holding out the outside, and also Viltec to keep his foot down going through that corner. Brave stuff, and also trusting the drivers, each other. Like, a lot of respect there.
Absolutely, that's the great thing to say there. That is when you trust someone, when you're not used to racing with each other. That's the kind of racing that leads to. That's why driving in a league is so much fun, because you get to know these guys, get to know their strengths, you end up trusting them. The racing is a little bit closer. You have more fun as TTAR. You got to say, reigning champion, not doing the best job this season. but holding on right now to third place just behind Viltec as they come over the start-finish line, and Old Boy still in 6th place with a 1:06. That is a quick lap time. Oh, 1:1:03. So slowed down a little bit that lap, and you can see how much speed he took in just a little bit of snap. Took him right onto that blue tarmac right on the outside there.
And you mentioned that you can learn each other's strengths, but you can also learn each other's weaknesses as well that way.
As we see newcomer Alex fighting it, he doesn't care who he's fighting against. Round the outside of TTR, who's going to hold it first? I think Alex is going to hold it round the outside, up into the inside. This looks like he has the line, but TTR is not giving up. Round the outside, still 2x2 as they come down to the left-hander here, brake sharp. Looks like Alex just had the better line there to make use of it. How's the exit going to be? Looks like Alex holds on, but TTR still sniffing. And who is that
Nate
behind
is
him?
hot on their heels.
Yeah.
Hot on their heels, waiting to get that opportunity. Drafting TTR very closely.
He is indeed. Is he going to take a nose down the inside? He's thinking about it. Not quite there. As you see, Old Boy and Shattered Compass, 6th and 7th, that McLaren team in that gorgeous red and white livery.
Yeah, it's hard to set it up the inside of T1 there. You really have to have your momentum really kind of coming into the beginning of that straight so that by the time you're in T1, you're at least halfway through trying to overtake, because it's very difficult to get that pass through there.
Yeah, we've been finding so far that the limit of these cars is actually, you can get to the limit pretty quickly, and then it's trying to just stay on it the whole time because the car is so squirrely. That's why you're seeing such close racing this season. These guys, they instantly just hit the limit. The setup options are so limited in this car. So it's just a little bit easier. And there you go. There is John thinking about it against Shattered Compass. Not sure he can get there. As pressure up the front, it is still Viltec hounding Debug. And the lap time's pretty similar. 1 minute, 0.6, 0.4, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6. That's the top 5 up till Nate. They are flying.
Yeah, I imagine Viltec's feeling a little relieved now that he's be able to apply pressure to Debug, and the guys are fighting for third position behind him. And that just allows you to focus on what's ahead and not what's behind you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And like we're saying, with these lap times, these guys are pushing the limit. Remember, they got like 30 minutes worth of fuel on board right now. There is no fuel multiplier in this season. So when Debug did a 1 minute 0.08, you can see how fast these guys are pushing. Just 0.3 off a pole time with a full tank. So props to all the drivers here, giving it absolutely everything they got. So you can see track temperature, top left of your screen, 49 degrees Celsius. That is screaming hot. So all these drivers will be thinking, don't get oversteer, don't overheat those rear tires. Hopefully the driver in front just puts his foot down just at the wrong moment, just spins up just a little bit, so I can have an advantage over them. Let's go on board with John, 8th place. So everyone up till 12th place is getting points here right now.
Yeah, he is really sticking on Shattered's gearbox there. I feel like he's trying to set himself up to see what he can manage here on the straight.
Yeah, and he's come a little bit of a tighter line. That does mean he drove a few centimeters less than the driver in front, maybe hoping that would give him a benefit. Keep his foot absolutely pushed through the metal into the carbon monocoque. And his foot round the first corner, going slightly wider. Is that the downforce? Was that the line choice? And behind him, he's got Garrett O'Brien just hanging around, sniffing around, seeing what he can pick up from this little boogaloo in front of him. What a start this is to the race. Leaders starting to slow down their pace a little bit. They're down into the 101.2. You can see them here, maybe just relaxing a little bit, not wanting to push the tires as hard. Alex and TTR and Nate still in the 1 minute flat. Old Boy as well. and John D. So you know the driver's pushing them. The other driver's just starting to cool off their tires a little bit. And I think it's allowing Alex to catch up to Viltec now within a second. Viltec responded, so did Debug. They felt the pressure.
You know what's interesting about this track is that like how you don't have to have as much of a defensive racing line. There's only a handful of spots you really need to defend. So that's why you can keep your pace up, and you're not seeing, I think, as many overtakes because it's a very single line kind of track with these cars, and it's just not a lot of opportunity to get that overtake unless you really are nailing your exits and you can find something on the straight.
That is it. This Formula Inter car, unless you're driving with some unexperienced drivers, like once you start reaching it, it's like every other Formula, but there's so many few setup options. It's just so difficult to make a difference, to try and outsmart your opponent.
Oh,
now you got.
That being said, here we go.
Viltec round the outside. He was only 2/10 quicker that lap, but that has put all the pressure on Debug, and he's seeing Alex appear in his rear view mirror, and now first three drivers within 0.6 of each other. TTR starting to fall off the back of this group, and that is it. Now you got 3 into 1, and that does not work. All of them want to be where Debug is, and Debug doing an amazing job right now, keeping them behind him.
And this 3 here had our incident at the end of Kansai. When they all got tangled up going 3 wide. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of sparks may fly this time around.
Yeah, I wonder if there is any love lost here. As you can see, Alex and Viltec taking the wider line. Debug with the defensive line. Debug out a little bit wider. Viltec taking a little bit of a shallower line, looking down the inside. Is this going to be his opportunity? He's got less kilometers to run. Oh, the speed is picked up. Alex is going to go through on the slipstream as well. No, it looks like Debug is losing this position. Will he be brave like before and go around the outside foot flat? Doesn't look like it. Oh, he's still thinking about it though. As they come
he's
out of
holding pace.
one, he is. He's going to take the wide line around T2. I don't think that's going to work for him. He's going to have to fight hard as Alex still looks up the inside. Who's going to take that second position? Debug is not giving him any room there. On the timing screen, it's saying Alex, but oh, that's so close.
Wow, that was some nail-biting stuff.
And here we go. That looks like Cracker Cold one off to the side, getting out of the way of the leaders, and Debug in just half a lap thinking, what on earth happened there? I was first a second ago.
Yeah, Alex came on hot, and you could see that their pace all picked up once they saw that pressure coming on. And I think Viltec might be wondering if he can pick his pace up enough to get away from Alex to make that Debug's problem. Games I'm sure we'll be seeing ahead of us soon.
And hopefully so. And we haven't seen it on screen, but Nate Delta ahead of TTAR. So Nate up into 4th, looking to close the gap. He is 3 seconds behind that main pack of the front runners though, so got some work to do. Got some work to do there, and you can see the effect of Debug. He lost over 1.5 seconds there on that lap. That is brutal stuff, all that fighting. As we go back on board with John, still in 8th, but this time Shattered Compass and Old Boy have swapped positions. Whether on purpose or not, we're not sure, but McLaren's in a different order now. The top 8 is Viltec, followed by Alex, Debug, Nate Delta, TTR, Shattered Compass, Old Boy ABC 123, and John, as you see, Garrett O'Brien taking the Colin McRae rally route sideways in the background there, down the inside of Old Boy in front of him. What a move. And Old Boy maybe can respond. Maybe John's got the experience to just hold him off a little bit. Old Boy looking like he's coming back along the straight. Maybe a little less downforce there.
Yeah, this is all kinds of tightness here. It's interesting to see what they're going to do here for T2 because, cuts right on top of them. It's back and forth so much. It's amazing. Great.
Yeah, he slammed the door shut there. And after that big slide, Garrett in the background, I wonder if his rear tires are just crying just a little bit from that huge save. I don't know if it was a save or just a massive power slide. As we go on board with him, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. And here he is, breathing down down old boy's neck and getting the car sideways yet again after that touch on the curb. You can see just as on the wheel, if you look inside the cockpit, you can see all the driver's hand motions there. As the front two have started to pull away from Debug now, Viltec only 0.4 of a second ahead of Alex. This is not over yet. We're on lap 15, so this must be about halfway through the race.
Yeah, with these short wheelbases of these cars and the lack of big downforce because of this, how slow the speed is, that car wants to rotate quickly. It seemed like perhaps with Garrett there, rotating a little too much for his sake of speed and stability, but yeah, it rotates extra fast, which can be to your advantage, you know, getting through some of these corners to get the car rotating quickly so you can get on throttle just a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
You know, perhaps his example is pushing that a little too soon, but yeah, it's interesting how you can still maintain a lot of speed, kind of like you can with the rally car by keeping your speed up through the corner. It can work to a degree, but with the heat as high as it is today, it's a real problem. These tires are barely hanging in there, and the more you keep doing that throughout the laps, it's going to become an issue of grip.
It will indeed, and the track temperature has not dropped. It is still 49, and Alex is now 0.3 behind, so gained a 10th over the last lap. Actually, just a little bit more than a 10th, and it's going to to and fro just a little bit. But I think these cars most resemble almost something like a supercart. There's locked rear differential. There's no way of altering the diff that's in the back of that car, so there's no way of getting like the turn in and turn out feeling that these drivers are used to altering with bigger suspension and differential setup options. And so this is probably as close to karting as the Mutiny has ever been. So just showing if Mutiny ever did a kart season, what the results may look like, as Alex is tucked right in there, 0.2. It's climbing under 1.1 round the outside. Viltec keeps his foot flat. So does Alex. Alex tries to do the cut under. They're touching. It looks like he's shoving his nose down the inside. He goes in, brakes later. Viltec gives him as much space as he was allowed, not an inch more. And Alex goes, "Thank you very much. I will take that."
Those were tires over the grass as well there. So, and Debug here is making his intentions be known. He's like, "This is what it's like when you go from first to third. I want to show you."
Yeah, Viltec has got the inside, so will he just roll the car down the inside? He did indeed, but what's it going on around the outside? Debug maybe, yeah, not able to get it just in, as we see the Nate Delta in the background, so they are starting to catch up just a fraction maybe.
Yeah, Team Jordan putting on a show here today. We got both third and fourth here, and they'll be pressuring for second and first.
They are indeed, as Alex has opened up a gap, 0.4. That's about as big as we've seen between these two in a little while. And then Debug still within the second, and it's still back 3 seconds back to Nate, just about 4. So I think it's the fighting in the front that's holding them up and allowing fourth, fifth, and sixth, and seventh, and eighth a little bit, just to catch up a little bit, or at least to stay in touch. As we see some different lines from Alex and Viltec there. As they go out wide, brake, a little tiny lock up, Viltec with the tighter line, and again, Viltec a little bit tighter line, Alex cutting the course a little bit more, going wide, cut the apex wide again. Now they're looking on the exit here. It's a good sign to see how they're tackling the car. It looks nice and smooth from all three drivers. Their throttle control is under control. Down the straight, it's 0.2. This is about the gap Alex needed as he came into turn one. Viltec shoves it in the inside. The door is slammed on him. And they live to race another day. These top three separated by nothing more than a breath, less than a second between them. If you're new to the Mutiny, thank you for joining. This is season 12, race 3. This is the feature feature race. We're doing a sprint race and a feature race as you see Viltec get the car just a little bit sideways. That cost him like half a tenth, maybe a tenth. There, and again into the last corner, you can see him having to steer the car just a little bit more on the entry, hoping to straighten it up on the exit. He's close. He's within 3/10 of the car in front. They're just starting to lead Debug 2/10 now. As they come over past the start finish line, it's just a tenth now. He looks down the inside. Alex leaves the door open. Oh, and he comes back across. Viltec can't find a way through. He's got to be even closer than that.
Yeah, he is. He's pressuring him, and when it comes down to P2 here, he is getting all up in his mirrors to just keep reminding him that he's on the attack, and that can add up mentally after a while.
Yeah, and you got to think that is what Debug is kind of hoping for. He's sat there in both of their mirrors, and he's not giving up at all. He's put on a really strong performance this race. Really looks at one with the car, as you can see. 4th, 5th, and 6th, just like hovering in the background. Debug will just start to see them as small specks in his mirrors as he exits the corner. And here we go again, up 3/10. It's closing down again. I feel like Viltec is running, a little bit less wing, maybe one click. And can he slam the door again? He does slam the door again. These guys are not giving up at all. And will Alex take the wide line again? He will. Viltec takes the tight line. Just can't make it work.
He's knocking on the door.
His knuckles are bloody right now. That's how hard he's knocking. He might go through it in a minute and say, here's Viltec down the inside. Pops his head through the door and goes, thank you very much. Power slides out. That was a move. Spotted an opportunity. Just a little. No, I'm not going to brake when you brake. I'm just going to go as Viltec gets the car super sideways. Can he hold on? Is that going to cost him down the straight? Alex is straight onto it round the outside, but those extra meters cost you a little bit of speed. But he's only 2/10 behind. Viltec will not have the exit he wanted. But it's
wow, what a save.
That was an incredible save, yeah.
We thought the slide earlier was good, and then he said, okay, teammate, I have to show you up now. Here's the slide. Here's what you call a power slide.
I bet he was on full opposite lock there as Debug now looking around the inside. The front to back wheel combo is not going to work well for them. They are side by side now, and now Alex is going to have the inside. Debug has the outside. As he slides across the track trying to defend, Debug down the inside. It looks like he's going to brake late. What's going on? Oh, big touch.
Oh no.
Debug with it looked like a front wheel of Debug's to the rear wheel of Alex's Jag there, and launched up in the air. And Alex has lost a ton of spots down to 7th position there. Oh, that's not how you want to see the racing go. It does happen sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah, that corner is a really tricky corner, how the camber changes on it, and it like offsets the balance of the car, and so very easily could have locked up that front right because all that weight shifts up to that front right on that brake, and it's really a more challenging corner than you might expect.
Absolutely. I wonder if the stewards will get involved to keep an eye on their positions right now. It may change. So it's now Viltec ahead of Debug, and Nate, who kept his mind clean, his hands clean, up into 3rd place. So now, right now it's a Jordan 2, 3, TTR up into 4th, Shattered up into 5th, John up into 6th, Alex behind John now, down in 7th position as we're riding on board with John, still looking at the back of a McLaren, thinking, what do I need to do to get past you? Shattered must have had the widest McLaren built in existence. It must be about 15 meters wide, according to John.
I mean, he must be saving a lot on fuel with all that, drafting he's getting from here.
And here we go, coming down the start finish straight. It's less than a tenth between them, but he just can't make the move. We're not seeing a difference like we are in the front runners, but he is keeping Shattered absolutely honest. He's thinking down the inside. Shattered makes the gap as small as he dares, and John thinks, yeah, this might be it, down the insides. Oh, what a race there. What a drive between those two.
Fantastic stuff with John to finally send it home and to be patient with that and to keep knocking away at it over and over again. That's a wonderful thing to see.
Great driving there from the drivers. So let's see if Debug can keep up, because we can see it right now. Lap times are as similar as they come, just a few tenths between them. It's 4 tenths as we're going to cross the line. May not be enough for Debug right now. Viltec took a super defensive position up the inside, right up against the pit wall there. He knows that's the main opportunity. Get your nose in down the inside. Don't go around the outside. Too much risk there to be forced out wide.
No free toes.
Yeah, he is, with those bloody knuckles from earlier, he has done enough knocking. He doesn't want to be knocking again. It's now Debug's turn to rap on his chamber door in front of him. And there we go. That is the gap between first and second. You could throw a tennis ball between them. Viltec losing a little bit of speed there. And the gap comes down again at 4 tenths. Runs out wide, both using about as much curb as each other. Viltec, is he going to go defensive? Does he see the need to? Doesn't look like it. Stays the course.
But as it stands now, though, we do see a Jordan 2-3 finish here, which is going to be really exciting for their team if that holds up after the stewards take a look. It's a great points there.
Yeah, we got to see. Might just be a racing incident. Who knows? So there we go, lap 26. We're coming into the twilight of this race right now. The race won't be too much longer. This is a half-an-hour race that includes the warm-up lap, the formation lap set to get all the drivers in order. And here we are following along with reigning champion TTAR down in 4th place, trying to make the car work for him. And that is a 101, one last lap. Looking at the back of Nate Delta, now got John on his tail. Where did you come from? I must have some McLarens back here.
Yeah, and John's eyeing at that situation to see if he's got an opportunity to snag one more before the race is out.
Absolutely, indeed. His speed is incredible. He's the fastest driver on the field right now, along with Alex. They're both in the 1 minute flat. Everyone else in the 101s, just maybe conserving a little bit of tire temp. But the drivers in the 1 minute flats. Remember, qualifying was a 1 minute flat. So these guys still just a few tenths off, and Debug again clawing his way through this middle sector, just a little bit back. And through the last sector, through the last corner, soaring away a little bit. Looks nice and smooth. Still 4 tenths. He's got to do a little bit more.
And I think we just missed his Nate's dropping down. Yeah, he's pitting. Yeah, he was he was in 3rd and he's pitting now. I think maybe he's had some issue with gas or refuel or something, but unfortunately, yeah, he's dropped.
That is a terrible disappointment. That's not how you want to see it to go. You can race the whole race with 1 tank of fuel, but if you cut it fine, if you just misguess by a litre or 2, it can destroy your entire race. These cars doing about maybe just over half a litre every minute of racing. And there we go, Debug again clawing his way back through. I feel like Debug has the downforce and Viltec has a little bit less, just from the way the cars are acting. Out onto the final stretch, it's still half a second. He doesn't seem to be making any headroom, and they are locked. Debug's thinking, what can I do? What can I do? As TTR inherits 3rd place with a 1:02.6, so a full second off these guys' pace, almost 1.5 seconds. Viltec thinking, yeah, this is going very well for me. Thank you very much. Lap 29, I'm in the lead. I should have been here earlier, but I got here now. Sometimes it's the journey, sometimes it's the destination, and you'll be holding on to the thought of the destination into these last few kilometers. And John, remember we were saying he's in 8th place behind the McLarens? What a drive. He's up into 4th. Like, I know there's misfortune ahead of him, but this is what it's about, isn't it? You got to finish.
Absolutely. It's, making your way up and fighting to the midfield is no easy task. And keeping your nose clean is hard in of itself, and it's paid off for him big time.
It has indeed. We're on lap 30 as we cross the line there. Viltek still half a second ahead, and that was cloning in the Ferrari on the racing line, trying to slow down and get out of these guys' way, but it's given Viltek a little bit of a headache now, because it's just allowed Debug to just claw his way up a couple of tenths, and that's all he might need. As his foot was flat and he went right to the edge of the track. Debug is using everything in his book, and it is not enough. He just dropped down a little too much, as we see John now fighting TTR there side by side. We think this is the final lap now. John goes round the outside, TTR at the inside. John is struggling to hold on right now. TTR goes all the way around the outside and a little bit more, so plenty of space given. John down the inside. Could he take it in the last few corners? No, he goes sideways. Oh, and TTR claws his way back through, and that is Shattered Compass thinking maybe I can snatch this just at the line. John goes down the inside as Viltek wins. Debug takes second, but who is third? It's TTR, it looks like, and John just a couple of tenths behind, but where did Alex finish in that? Because he was side by side with Shattered Compass there.
Wow. That so much just transpired in that last lap. I don't even know where to begin. It's amazing, incredible win for Viltek. Really strong, solid, well-earned battle there against really fast competitor and Debug, who applied pressure, and Alex, but also the whole rest of the gang behind them battling it out, and John D, like, applying pressure for third, going for it. Wow. Incredible race from John D and Viltek. Both fantastic work today. And really, the whole top half of the grid.
Yeah, everyone putting a performance of a lifetime there. Just Viltek. This is win number 2, I believe, in the Mutiny. What a performance there. As he comes round, he's looking towards the pits, thinking, yeah, I will take that one. Teammate Garrett just following him there.
Yep, that's Team Williams will take that first place win. That'll give them a nice solid boost coming out of this race.
And a little wiggle just as he was entering, and Garrett the same. What a performance today. And here we go for the race results.
Yes, number 1, we got Viltek, and followed by Debug at second with only 3 tenths behind them, followed by TTR and John D. You can see another tight race there between the two of them. Alex and Shattered were, again, right behind one another. All 4 of those people just so close together in the race. NDF is at 7th. We've got Nate in 8th, Leclerc in 9th, Orange in 10th, Old Boy in 11th, with Garrett in 12th and Cloning in 13th. Artie and Krakatoa in DNFs. And then fastest lap, we got Old Boy Bob. And then driver of the day is John D with his great race from the back to work his way all the way up for 4th. And almost had third.
Yeah, almost did. And what a performance that was. You can see only 1 penalty applied there. So between Alex and Debug there, probably a racing incident. What a performance. 18 points into Viltek's pocket. He will take that as they move on. So let's go take a look at the driver standings, and Viltek with those points in his pocket up into first, up 2 positions it's saying there. Got a gold against his name, got a silver against his name, a fastest lap against his name. That is a great start to the season. Kumsam just behind him, 42 points, 2 wins to his name. Debug in 3rd, Alex in 4th. Look how close they are. Just 10 points separate the top 4 drivers. That is just one bad sprint race, really. And Shattered Compass in 5th, Old Boy in 6th, Rodders in 7th, Garrett O'Brien in 8th, TTR down in 9th, John in 10th, NDF 11th, Nate Delta in 12th. What could have been up into 3rd at one point, and then with fuel issues, Orange down in 13th, J Rook in 14th, Leclerc in 15th, RT in 16th, Cloning with a point there in 17th. Coob Dog, Bumble, and Onyx make up your top 20.
And then to finish it off, we have Lotus at number 1, but Williams right on their heels at 74, making a massive comeback in this race between Garrett's second place finish and Viltec's first place finish. And then behind them, we've got a nice battle brewing for third between McLaren, Jordan, and even Jaguar and Arrows. Really, any of them could possible, but the top two, McLaren and Jordan, really seem to be running away with it for third. And then we've got AVM at 20 points, moving up 2 positions. Sauber and then Renault followed in 8th and 9th, and then Ferrari in last place at 10th.
And I gotta say, what a first 3 races we've had. You can start to see the trends now. You start seeing Lotus and Williams just start to edge away. It's the solid performances from both teammates that are really helping the season right now and helping them in these results. Thank you so much for joining us. If you didn't see that if you want to go watch that last lap again, just go rewind a little bit, because that was action freaking packed. From all of us here in the Mutiny, thank you so much for watching. Come join us for race 4. It's just the next click away.